Yes, so we are here with Emmett Morrison, round two. Say hello, Emmett.
Hi, thanks for having me again. I missed you guys.
I miss you too. I don't know how I forget Emmett. If it's their first time listening, and it ought to be. Emmett has the best Instagram feed. He's hacked Instagram to just use it perfectly, with a cycle of never-ending throwbacks once per week, and every week I forget that he's going to do it. And then I see it, and then I'm halfway just overjoyed, halfway relieved that I didn't miss it. I feel like guilty if I forget to like one. It's like it's snuck in and become a meaningful part of my life. So thank you for that.
That makes me so happy. That means it's all worth it now.
Yeah, king of Instagram, in my opinion.
I sometimes come close to forgetting to do it. I know, especially these days, all the days are the same. And then I'm like, oh no, Thursday.
That's precisely it. It keeps me on track. Like all the numbers, all days, a week becomes a year. I see that. And I think structure, safety.
Yeah.
Something's a constant in my life. How needed.
Yeah, I've got an anchor in you, Emmett.
An anchor.
It's probably the most I've committed to anything at this point.
Yeah, we were saying. It's a large ass commitment, man. It's like it's so nonsensical, but yeah, again, it's nonsensical in the best way possible. Nonsensical is a good word.
I'm glad you guys like it. That's awesome. I'm surprised during this pandemic how often I have remembered the days. I was pretty good at remembering days, which is not good for me. Like I'm not good at that to begin with. Yeah. So every once in a while I'll be like, oh, today's Monday. I'm like, wow, nice one.
Good job, me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. You must have like some sort of subtle internal clock now for every seventh day. It's got to be there.
Yeah, I feel we probably all have some, like that. There's also that, you wake up 5 minutes before your alarm goes off kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. Something in you knows it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
And you've got people to please.
Hey, since I seen you, is this new or did you do something different?
No, I might be better lit perhaps, but I haven't shaved in maybe a decade. I never ever shave. I trim my beard obviously, but also not that obviously. It's pretty thin. But yeah, no, I haven't. Thanks for noticing, Emmett.
That looks good.
My heart. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, it's kind of. I've been here for a while, and just condos are kind of coming up all over. So I used to be able to see the sky, and that was cool.
Yep.
I don't complain about construction or stuff because I live right downtown, so that's part of it. But it still sucks.
Sure. I
see these guys climbing up this crane all day long, and it's very close. Like you could just talk to them, and just like, hi, buddy,
That seems exhilarating.
Sandwiches. Yeah.
I can't imagine. I know someone who climbed a crane once when that was a thing, or maybe it's still a thing.
Oh, they have. Oh no, this is This is great because with reopening, obviously bars and stuff. So Friday, Saturday nights, bunch of drinking young college dudes will climb that thing. I'll just be like, we'll watch this for a bit, and then the security guard will chase them out, and then a new group of drunken dudes will come and climb it, and he'll chase.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like I don't want anyone to get hurt or anything like that, but it's entertaining at the time.
Emmett, I think you need to invest in a laser pointer and a megaphone, and practice your aim. Get them in the chest and yell "freeze" through the megaphone, and you're gonna terrify some drunkards.
I did have actually there. One night, like in the winter, we were kind of drinking. It was like 1 a.m, and me and my friends were just kind of drinking, having a smoke out the window, blah blah blah. And a guy starts. We see this figure coming up it, climbing, and I'm like, oh wow, this is strange. And he gets to about my window, and I go, hey buddy, well, what are you doing? I don't care. I'm in for him climbing. Like everyone I've done it,
Yeah.
And it just kind of stops, and then he goes down real fast. I'm on the 9th floor, so he goes down real fast, runs through the construction site, around the kind of area, and then he was going to come kind of from behind onto the front of my building. I just watched him, so I'm like, oh, I got to go talk to that guy. So I like put my jacket on, and it was fresh snow, like so much snow coming down. Beautiful night. I get outside, and like no tracks, no footprints, but I knew he was coming out. So I walk over there, and I see these footprints coming out, and I just kind of wanted to see what he's doing, or like apologize for ruining it for him, you know, with my big mouth. And so then so I start following the footprints, and you know, just a lot of snow coming down, no cars, and goes to another street. So I go through a parking garage, then up another street, and I'm walking, following the footprints, and they do this quick 90-degree thing. So I'm looking down, and they go 90. I look over, and there's a guy in the alley, and he's coming towards me.
Okay.
And I just go, hey man, I was the guy who yelled at you. Sorry. He goes, oh, that's cool. And he's just like a regular dude. And I go, what were you doing? He's like, oh, like, you know, parkour. Like, I like to do that kind of stuff and like climb cranes and blah, blah, blah. And he points to, I'm like, oh, that's neat. He points to like a crane in the distance. He's like, I was on that one tonight. And he takes out his phone and starts showing me like pictures of him hanging off the thing.
Wow.
And so we just hung out for a while. And then my friend because my friends were still at my place, so one of them comes out. She follows my footprints because she got worried about me, and she comes and she just sees me and him smoking a cigarette. I'm like, oh, it's my new friend Rich. He was the guy climbing. He's cool. And so we kind of hung out for a sec and then went our separate ways.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Every part of that story is wonderful. I love the how sleuthy you and your roommate are, both to follow the footprints in the snow.
Yeah, it was a real gumshoe.
Yeah. I was an exhilarating story. I need more people who coincidentally do parkour near me.
Parkour?
Yeah.
That's my hindrance to having a story like yours. I'd love to make a friend.
Just get started on your own, I'm sure.
I could be the parkour guy. You're right.
Just do parkour to make friends. That's one extreme roundabout way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. This is now a parkour podcast.
I would love to try it.
From henceforth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so terrifying. I could never do that.
Yeah.
Emmett, you mentioned a minute ago how you're seeing all the drunkards around the crane because things have started to reopen.
Sure.
And based on your Instagram page, I see that you've been performing. You've been back on stage in front of crowds. How's it feel?
It feels good. Ottawa's, it's taking a little time. Like, you know, it's still a little slow, quiet, getting going. I mean, Ottawa during the summer is always kind of a little quiet because people go to the cottages and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy that there's still some stages. You know, we still have like a bunch of mics throughout the city, like Swizzles and Eddie's and Meow and Poor Boy. And there's the Yuck Yucks like summer competition going on right now. Yes. And I've been going to Montreal a lot. Montreal is actually like really bumping with comedy right now. Like there's some cool guys like putting on like shows every night, and like they're packing the places, and that's been really fun. So I've been traveling there a lot. And,
nice. Just is it you said it's bumping right now? Is that a difference in like tourism and like availability of people, or is that a government regulation thing, or do they have a greater capacity there?
I think probably like all those things. You know, I kind of asked. I don't know too much because I'm not there, but I've kind of asked, and it seems like obviously people were yearning for entertainment. You couldn't have music bands, so this was live art or performance that people could see. You know, I guess maybe the universities there, like Concordia and McGill and stuff, that has a lot of young people looking for fun. And yeah, maybe the restrictions and stuff, it was a little different there. I know I was in Montreal, like I just started going there a couple months ago, and I did like like my first show without a plexiglass,
Ooh.
and I didn't even know, like I got off stage and I was just chilling. I'm like, oh, I just did without plexiglass. Like I really wish I enjoyed that. Like it just felt so natural, but like
yeah.
So that's really fun to not have a thing in front of you and be close and get more connected.
Sure. Did you feel naked in retrospect?
Yeah, I felt very vulnerable. Like I assumed those plexiglass. I always assumed the plexiglass was bulletproof, like the Pope mobiles.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little more fearful. You know?
Yeah, anybody at any time.
Yeah.
In Montreal.
But Montreal's cool. Yeah, they're putting on like there's a few guys like really running some good rooms. I did one a new room the other day from another podcast, Human Raccoon podcast, and that was neat. It was like in this like dance studio that they finished converting into like kind of a space to perform at, and they finished construction like 10 minutes before doors open. There was people sitting on scaffolding, and the bathroom doors didn't have doorknobs at the time, and that was really fun, really cool space.
I bet it's beautiful now, but it sounds like at the time it was maybe 2 notches above the dumpster shows.
Yeah.
Well, people sitting where you can.
Everything's above the dumpster show. not in heart and spirit. That's really the dumpster show.
Oh, we're gonna miss the stench. The smells will be missed.
The dumpster shows are done because neighbors were getting too upset, I think.
Really?
Because there's like a lot of houses around there, like right, because it's in an alley, so there's a house right behind, and I guess dudes screaming dick jokes at the top of their lungs isn't what they want to hear at 10 at night.
Right? Yeah. And then stoops turn into stages, and porches turn into bleachers, and
Totally.
Yeah. People don't really like that. That sucks.
Not to mention, nobody likes bombings on their street.
No.
So you gotta be careful. Yeah, you're either bombing or you're killing, right? Huh.
Yeah, that really lowers the property value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing these days? Like, are you kind of back in some kind of real life, or I mean, you're going to the raves and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, how's it been for you? How's Brampton? How's Peel region?
I mean, never great to start with, but I don't know. Like we have a really high vaccine rate here because we have a lot of like necessary or whatever essential industries like warehouses and
Right.
that sort of thing. So people have, I guess, just had to get vaccinated. I went to an amusement park a couple weeks ago. That was fun.
Oh, that's cool. What was the amusement park?
Yeah. Wonderland, Canada's Wonderland, the amusement park in
over in Barrie,
Ontario.
Vaughan.
Yeah, near Barrie, Vaughan.
Vaughan. Okay.
Little short of Barrie from you, but yeah, it was really like it was pretty relaxed. The rides were full capacity, but like the lines weren't too bad. Everything was pretty smooth.
Nice.
Yeah, things are like they're sort of looking up, but now cases are going back up. I don't know.
I don't know either. I kind of stopped paying attention to all those numbers. Just do what I can locally.
Yeah.
Did you go any like super crazy rides at the place? And don't they have some good ones there?
They do.
Scary ones.
Yeah, I think I'm good at surrendering myself to a situation once it's like too late. So I sit in the front and like only not only the scariest, like we did the scariest ones, I think, but one of them was closed because it was windy. But yeah, front of the ride is the only way to do it, so you could see your impending death instead of a seat in front of you.
Yeah.
I admire that.
Yeah, it's strength.
It's important, and sometimes you have to wait a little longer because other people have the same aspirations. But
precisely,
you know, it's a necessary part of
you're all fighting for that front roller coaster.
Yeah, y'all want to see your life flash before your eyes. It's you know.
Yeah, that's my approach.
I made it.
Sorry, say that again.
I'm happy you're alive. I'm happy you made it.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. One of the reasons I'm comfortable with roller coasters is because I figure if I'm gonna go, not a lot of people get to die on a roller coaster. So, you know, like I could have a heart attack or get in a car crash like normal people. Or the behemoth could take me.
See, that's all. I've always thought about that being a great place to die, because then you get to haunt for eternity. You're at an amusement park, so you get to chill at an amusement park forever. Like, you know, people die in like a hotel room and then haunt this stupid small hotel room forever. Like, that sounds like a nightmare. But like, amusement park, I could do that forever.
Yeah, that's with no fear of death.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation at that amusement park.
At this time, the last podcast, at probably the exact same time, we were talking about amusement parks. We were talking about Seven Flags and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I just noticed. Yeah. And so you're gonna haunt Seven Flags. Is what we're
that's our podcast now. Then we're just talking about amusement park.
Imagine the parkour in an amusement park.
Oh, amusement parkour. I love it.
Oh shit. Okay. That's it for the AudioVisio podcast.
All right, and we're done.
Thanks
Be
to
sure
everybody.
to check out the parkour amusement park coming next spring.
Thank you very much.
It's been a great brain session. Thanks, guys. I know that there's a lot. You've been doing the Montreal circuits. There's been a lot of fear mongering in Quebec when it comes to vaccination passports, and that's something that isn't happening right now. But for live festivals and live events coming soon in Ontario, you're going to need both vaccines. So when you were in Montreal, what is the atmosphere for that? What's in the rumor mill? Did you hear anything about that?
No, I haven't heard too, like I've seen maybe stuff on the news and everyone the usual arguing about stuff with that things. But it seems like in Montreal there's kind of like some people doing it and some people not. Yeah. You know, and they're all commingling. I kind of asked, like, I don't know. I don't get into too many of these wars. I want people to be okay and stuff, and I try to help that way. But it's just everyone's just screaming the same stuff we always hear at each other. So I try to just go along and, you know, do my best. But when I got there, I was like, how are you guys putting on masks, or how does this work? And they're like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Okay.
And so it seems like some people are kind of over it and some people are still going.
Yeah. You mentioned, you didn't mention, you sort of cleverly evaded getting political. And so I presume that's, you know, a part of your stage act too, is not to be political and a little bit more silly. I've seen some of your stuff, and that's definitely the case. I don't know how much you've been watching other people on stage while you're out, but is it a lot of COVID jokes right now?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Ottawa's been open, you know, a little more than a lot of places. I think as far as with the comedy and stuff, a lot of places just shut down completely, or the curfew, and we still kind of had some mics going on, you know, not during the lockdowns obviously, but like I think we had, you know, times where we were the only people going on sometimes. And so it was kind of funny because since we were going the whole time, you heard all the COVID jokes. So like now that some people are reopening for the first time, those jokes are happening, like the COVID jokes that I heard earlier. So I remember someone I remember trying to throw in some COVID jokes myself, like back in the fall, just because I thought like, oh, I have to be like a little topical and people want it. And I was just like, a lot of other people are doing it, and I didn't really I felt like I was just doing it to just do it. And so I kind of just dropped anything about COVID.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like you have to acknowledge it. Like it's almost like as bad to completely ignore it. Maybe not so much anymore because we're you know, kind of through it, but you know, in the midst of it, like, yeah, you got to at least address it and then move on maybe.
Yeah. I think there was also an aspect where I noticed some of the crowds were kind of in the audience. I feel that, like, you know, when it was during some real dark times and stuff, I almost felt like people are like, I'm coming to this comedy show because I have to get out of the house and I need some laughs and entertainment, but like at the same time, I don't know, doing COVID jokes could remind them that it's dangerous to be out or something, you know, like it could, you know, like you don't want to promote with COVID stuff or anything like that.
Yeah, they're going out to escape that, right?
Yeah, and
Stop thinking about it for a minute.
And I realized that, like, and maybe it was just like maybe I'm reaching, but it definitely felt like they needed energy and enthusiasm, because if they're coming out to risk their life for jokes,
Yeah.
better be really good jokes.
Precisely. The tone and atmosphere around how laughter is catalyzed is definitely, or created or stimulated rather.
Yeah, the energy.
It's changing. Yeah, it's definitely changing. There's a different vibe, and the vibe you get, as you say, precisely, people are trying to get their laughter, their jolts of humor, and they could die doing it. So yeah, better be damn funny, boy. Yeah.
But I think, like, now, some, like, in like Montreal, I was saying, like, they just feel like they're fully back and they're ready to celebrate and all this. And I think that's starting to happen around here. It's just not at the same time. Like, no one's had that Times Square kissing thing, like that hasn't really. People are just getting drunk on patios and climbing cranes.
Is Biden funny at all? Because we can talk about COVID till we're blue in the face, but there's a lot of other elephants in the room that were around in the past few years. And so now that Trump is gone, I definitely don't want to get into that whole political thing, unless we want to. But yeah, no, Trump is gone. He was hilarious. He was great for material. Are you joking? Wonderful. How's the scene now? Is it a little dry? How's Biden?
I don't know.
Funny.
My apartment, they cut off the cable. I used to get free cable in my apartment.
Oh, dang.
And they cut it off, so I would watch sometimes the news. That's how I kind of follow stuff. But so I'm kind of out of the loop a little. I don't know. Like, is Biden, like, he's kind of just an idiot, right? Like,
this is old and creepy and massages women, and I don't know. I've seen those as a joke. Yeah, I don't know. Is that kind of like? I guess you gotta, when you start with the president making fun, you kind of start with what they. He's old, or he's dumb, or he's, with the little girls and stuff. Yeah. Like, it's like, Grandpa, get out of the change room, and he pretends to just be old. He's like,
yeah,
like the old person who's stealing and I'm just an old person.
It's not a good sign when the low-hanging fruit is that you are obviously senile.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
not the best look.
No.
Yeah.
The thing I found weird was, like, because it was like him and Trump, like, they're both like 80, whatever,
collectively, so, 300,
yeah.
And the age, the minimum age to go for president is like 35. I'm like, why do you even have that then? If everyone's 80, like.
Yeah, it's not like these are the people who most accurately represent the interests of the general population.
Yeah, and these are the talking head we can put in front of the thing and do all the everyone else's stuff. Like,
I don't really relate with 80-year-olds very much.
Are you about to be read your last rites? Well, you might relate to us.
I think John Mulaney has a good joke where he says, like, something. It's like, if you're leaving, you shouldn't order for the whole table.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Which fits with that.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary that that's like the norm. And I don't even know how you adjust that. Aside from my girlfriend has said for a long time that the maximum voting age and age to be in office should be 65, just like retirement. Yeah. And there's some validity there. You get your chance to affect the world, and then after 65, even though you still live here, sorry, you're like a child now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, now
it hasn't been work. It doesn't work right now.
Okay. Yeah. So who are we writing the letters to? How exactly are we going to affect this change?
Dear America, dear government,
dear Biden, get out. Thank you. Love, Emmett.
In brackets, Morrison.
What's the deal, anyways? Love Emmett.
What's the deal?
How are you? I'm fine.
You want to work on opposing political campaigns? Do you want to be my arch nemesis?
Me
Please.
or
Both of
Emmett?
you, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be anyone's arch nemesis. That'd be a dope archetype to play.
It's just good for like killing time to have like a rival, you know.
Yeah, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd pick one when I'm walking down the street just for like, side like, oh, well, I have nothing to do today. Let's create an enemy for myself.
Yeah. It'll keep you on your toes, keep them on their toes,
Yeah.
head on a swivel.
They don't know about it. That's exciting.
The version, and I'm stealing this, I didn't come up with this myself, but the version that you know of yourself is completely different than everybody else's version of you, which is
Yes.
completely different from one another too.
Which is terrifying.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like
But
everybody.
still, I mean, it's still hard to, you know, it's like hearing your own voice, right? Like,
Yeah, everybody you pass in the street is living their own life with all their own little intricacies and nuances and relationships and fears and hopes and dreams. It's a trip.
Yeah,
I think about that with. Sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think about that with like, because I have friends who have certain manners and things they do or words they use or this and that, and I love them all for sure. But then it makes me go like, oh, what are my things?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not that good.
Yeah. And then at the same time, all of these weird individual perspectives and experiences are all also, to quote Bill Hicks, they're the universe experiencing itself subjectively.
We are the universe experiencing itself. Yeah.
Each one an individual little node of the universe. Like maybe that's what life is. Maybe it's the universe trying to get like the perfect version of its like personal review system.
Precisely.
And we're all on that path to just be like the perfect reflection of the universe to itself. Yep.
That's a concept that's been in the mind.
I better clear my schedule.
Strap yourself in. Well, your atoms know not your name, right? Your atoms don't, like your bone, your kidney, your spleen doesn't know that your name is Emmett. It doesn't know that it's on this journey. I was watching this show, One Strange Rock, with my friend Ryan. And it's saying, like, if you look at a big wave, like a tsunami wave, it's huge and the force of water is just tremendous. But if you focus in on one single water droplet, one tiny water droplet out of all of that, and it's the size of a pinhead, there are microbes inside of that don't understand that there's a storm happening. They're part of the storm. They're causing the storm. They have no idea that they're part of the hurricane.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, my point being with that is you are a part of you're guiding yourself and you're along this journey, and something is catalyzing it and something is moving it forward. So it almost, what Matt is saying, is something that has been conceptualized. It's beautiful, but it's not brand new, that your atoms are trying to find their way home. Something is trying to find its way home. You are the universe trying to fully then understand itself. And yeah, sorry, that got me excited.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And that lends itself to very, very severely to the idea of a fractal universe.
If I think of gravity when I'm waking up or something, I probably just won't get out of bed that day. It's just a lot.
The gravity's keeping you down. Yeah.
You ever think about which way you are rotating, like on the planet right now?
Like which way the world is going?
Like, yeah, the world is spinning.
Yeah.
And so you're spinning on it too.
Yeah.
So like right now, I know I did the math, like you looked at a compass a few days ago. I know that I'm also traveling over my shoulder that way.
Right.
Because that's the way the world is spinning.
Like you are spinning with the world, but you don't necessarily have to be actually spinning. That blows my mind. Sorry.
Or if you are spinning, it's a double spin.
It's insane. I know, that blows my mind.
And that's going around the sun.
Yeah.
And the sun's going around a black hole.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys warn me about this?
I'm sorry.
This is where I live. Like I live in a perpetual existential crisis. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, my voice is my voice, but it's not a part of my body. It's just inside of my body. Does my voice have a solid? God damn it. Like, that's how I start my day. Are you joking? That's like how I begin. I'm coming in hot.
How does the day turn out when you do that?
Awful. That's why I do drugs. I'm Adriana, and that's why I do drugs. That's what Doug Stanhope, he's like a comedian's comedian. He's one of my favorite, but he's like, my life, if I am to be a monotheist, I choose vodka. My name, I am Doug Stanhope, and that is why I drink.
He's the best.
He's best. I love his suits. I can picture you in one of his ironic fucking Don Cherry suits doing it.
He played here once, and he was definitely wearing one of those when he's played here a couple times. But
I've seen him live. I've seen Doug live, yo.
Did you love it?
I loved it. Yeah, he was doing his mental illness bit. Like, it's on YouTube now, but it was the one where he was talking about how there's a difference between being mentally disturbed and mentally ill, and how mentally disturbed people are treated better than mentally ill, because the mentally ill are like quiet and smart. Like, the mentally disturbed are your, I don't know what politically correct term is, but the people with like Down syndrome, and you're mentally ill or like your schizophrenics and your whatever. So it's like how society treats the different levels.
Yeah. Because
he actually, what turned me on to Doug Stanhope was Bingo, his girlfriend. She's severely mentally ill, and he just loves her and just takes care of her and just like loves her because she's so special. And I just found that their relationship is beautiful because she has severe bipolar. She has schizophrenic episodes. She's like in and out of hospitals, but he just like is her number one fan, just tries to get her so much help, just supports her. And through it all makes fun of her, just is roasting her the entire fucking time. And she like puts up with it, and she like loves him right back. And it's just a beautiful dynamic and relationship they have. So when I heard about that, I'm like, Doug must be a really good guy. Because even though he seems like, douche on stage, you have to have a heart for that. You have to have empathy. So it's a whole beautiful dynamic that they have. Sorry, but
no, that's interesting. I never knew what their relationship was, but I'd hear the name, but not know anything about it. Just knew that she was around, and
yeah,
they're all out in Arizona, I guess.
Bisbee. They live in Bisbee. Yeah.
That's Arizona?
Yeah. Bisbee, Arizona. He lives right on the border, and he's like, he's like, I don't have a disposable income. I pay $800 a year in property taxes. I'm living a dream. He's like,
he's like the de facto mayor of the town, right?
Yeah. It's like he has this great and I don't want to tie this back into you, Emmett, of course, because this isn't about Doug Stanhope, but he's just one of my favorite. He's my favorite comedian, but says I'm only famous a half an hour before and after my shows. When I'm driving there, no one really knows me, but when I get there and I'm standing around, my fans, the ones who are truly there for me, when they know what they're looking for, they see me, I'm a huge success, But then so I want to ask you, Emmett, are you starting to develop, like, you have fans, Matt and I are fans. You have fans in your family, your friends, from the circuits that you do, from the people that see you. Are you starting to develop a certain type of fan base? Are you starting to develop that type of, not celebrities status, but like kind of that ball of, oh, that's Emmett. Hey, I saw you. Hey, Emmett, that's Emmett. Are you starting to get that a little bit?
No, I mean, it's a good question. I think there's a few people that have said they see me and they like it and stuff, but usually it's mostly like you said, friends and family and other comics seem to be, which is makes me really happy. Other comics being accepting and saying, oh, they saw me on this, or but I've gotten some good feedback here and there. Maybe just people coming up after the shows and going like, oh, I enjoyed your jokes.
Yeah.
But no fan. You guys are pretty much my fan club now, so that's totally fine by me. I appreciate it, and back at you guys, I'm a big fan too.
Oh yeah,
Thanks,
Matt
man.
could be a groupie. I could picture it.
Yeah. I'll do whatever. I got it.
He's gonna do whatever.
Yeah. I'm down for the cause. Emmett, you mentioned that the COVID jokes are flying fiercely in Montreal right now, and that they were in Ottawa recently. And those seem like the kind of thing that, unless they're executed perfectly, they could divide a crowd. Did you see that, A? And B, is your style of goofy one-liners like a cheating way of bridging that gap of not having those biases behind them and relating with everybody?
That's a good question. I think, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to, I still have, like, I'm not trying to play both sides or do any of that kind of, like, I'm not trying to stay out, like, I'll give opinions and stick to my guns and tell people they're wrong about stuff, or I think so, you know. So I'm not trying to do that too much, but yeah, I think like you were saying about the COVID like jokes, or like that being divisive.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, anything political, like we live in genuinely, it's becoming more and more evident, a binary kind of society.
Right.
Everything is yes or no, and everything is part of your identity. And there's very little, I mean, there is obviously gray area everywhere, but it's missing from the general zeitgeist, it seems.
Yeah.
But I see one-liners and goofy, silly kinds of jokes and I guess that sort of thing as a uniting kind of force rather than a dividing one, because what you hate Tide, like you're pro Tide versus anti Tide, like it's like silly bullshit if that's the case, right? So you can sort of unite everybody, I feel, at least with your style of comedy in a way that something more topical is going to struggle to do, I think, more and more as time progresses.
Yeah, I find that like you know, on a comedy lineup, like, you know, unless it's like themed, a lot of times you will have different voices throughout it, like of different sides and people talking about politics or social aspects or issues. And, you know, this seems like obvious, and I'm sure everyone says it, but like, you know, if you're funny, you're funny, and people will do that. I think often the problem is when someone comes up and starts saying, like their ideas or opinions, if it's political or social, it's just something that we've all heard a million times. Like, you know, someone coming up and doing a bunch of jokes about you know, against, you know, anti whatever jokes. It's like I've heard this all on the internet all day, or I've seen everyone just saying the same thing, and I know. So I feel people just kind of like turn off a little bit, or like tune out a little bit when someone's just starting to say some rhetoric, and they may come with a good joke out, or like, it's, you know, they're trying to make a joke out of it, but like sometimes I think people just kind of go like, oh, this is this opinion, this is that anti whatever that I've heard all day, and they kind of just,
then it goes over their heads.
Yeah.
You kind of have to look at it too. Okay, well then what constitutes, okay, so you have your type of comedy, and then you have to understand how does what role in society, what societal function does your specific genre of comedy have? How can you use that to benefit? Because you can ask, what is the social function of comedy? But then, as Matt has just kind of set up for us and made apparent, is that there's many different types of ways of approaching thoughts and then spewing them out. And so you're going to say, what's a social function of comedy? Well, what's the social function of soapbox comedy, where you're shoving opinions down your throat, the George Carlin type, the storytelling? What's a social function of the Mitch Hedberg type? And so what are all of those functions trying to do? What all of those? But in our very first podcast, Matt mentioned, remember, Matt, and you could say this better. Remember when you said, comedy now, everybody thinks of the first thing, and then it actually takes skill and strength to kind of get to like the fifth thought that nobody has had about it before. And I think that's what you were touching on.
Yeah, sorry, that's either someone quoting Dave Attell or actually describing Dave Attell, one of the two, and it is that everybody in the room thinks of the first joke about any topic, and so it's not funny. And you got to get like 3 or 4 or 5 layers deep before you get to something original. And Dave Attell was proficient at jumping right to stage 5.
He's the best.
Yeah.
And you're totally right. You know, if you odds are the first thing you think about is because it's the easiest one, and everyone else has thought about it. So
precisely. So, but then that's why everyone thinks they're funny too, because you get around with a bunch of guys and they're talking like they're making very normal humor that anyone would really think of, and they think they're hilarious, but it's very basic humor that any brain could think of. You don't have to be a critical thinker to understand that would be a funny play on words or understand it. And it takes a lot of skill and depth to come to a point to think past it. And again, that's why I do commend your style of comedy, because anyone can watch something on the news, get heated about it, get all raw, have a specific cadence to their voice, have a type of delivery, say something that anyone could kind of fucking say. But because they said it and they have this certain type of energy, it's funny.
Yeah.
And another guy could have said it, and it's you're saying you're saying the same shit.
Yeah.
Where's the uniqueness? Where's the critical application of thoughts? Come on. So that's just me ranting.
I agree. I mean, I think originality is the most important thing. That's where I respect the most comedians who are doing something different.
Yeah, I'm really drawn to novelty myself, but I do have to acknowledge, and it seems like sort of what you were saying about the divisive kinds of topics, that you're right, that being funny trumps all else, and if you can make it funny, then you can talk about anything. And it occurred to me that I guess it's a laziness thing for a lot of folks who aren't funny or who create division with it, because the secret to it, to the whole thing, and to comedy, I think, but life in general as well, is if you're going to try to convince somebody of something, you got to get them thinking along with you first. And the best comedians get you on the same train of thought they're on, and then they hit you with a punchline that you don't see coming, and they know that you don't see it coming because you're on the same path as them. And so if you can do that effectively with a divisive topic, then you can get someone in there with you and thinking along with you. But if you hit them with something that makes them see you as immediately unrelatable, then they shut off right away. You got to be relatable in comedy as well, right? But by staying away from these particularly divisive things, you can sort of dodge that need to pull someone onto that train with you and just again hit them with something funny right off the bat. And I respect that. And I respect the hustle that it takes to be a short joke comedian, because you have to write so much more.
Yeah.
I'm kind of real. I'm doing, next week, I'm doing like my first 10 minutes.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. And my friend, Andrew Wamble, who is a very funny person in the city, very funny comedian. He started a new room here in its arcade. And so I'm featuring there, but my point is that, memorizing, because I'm like not a bright guy to begin with. Like I have my memory, my brain's moron, so memorizing a lot of jokes is a little tough. But
yeah, I feel like you could get away with a list. I know it's like the most frowned upon thing in the world, but you just reference it for your material, because you have so much of it,
you can make it part of your act, that's
Yeah, it's a joke I wrote, actually, is you go up with a list and then you say, I brought a list, and then you start reading groceries, and then you say, I brought the wrong list, and nobody laughs.
No one.
But I thought it was funny, and it wasn't. So
we laugh at Matt, but not.
Yeah, you could try it. Don't get your hopes up, but you could try it. Emmett, I want to workshop some jokes with you.
Some what? Sorry?
I want to workshop some jokes with you.
Sure.
This is my time
prepared
to
give me notes. I'm gonna need notes on these jokes, okay?
He's been dying to do this, Emmett. Just give
it to him. No, I'm stoked. I love jokes.
I'm excited. Okay. Joke number one.
What are you eating? That's a. What do you have there?
It's a very phallic wrap. It's a Meta Boost wrap from Freshie.
Oh, wow. It looks awesome.
It's
That's cool.
intense. Yeah.
What's in it? What are the ingredients?
Yeah, what's in there?
It's kale, field
Yeah.
greens, goat cheese, edamame, and other pretentious whatnot.
That sounds great.
Thank you, Ryan, for getting it.
I very sincerely hope that that's how it's written on the menu as well.
Other pretentious hoo-has and whatnots.
Yeah. This is a
Accoutrements.
Okay, Emmett, joke number 1. Hi, my name is Mike. That's an impression of this microphone.
That's great.
All right, no notes. Okay, perfect. That's a 100% hit of a joke. Okay, number 2. People say that child and youth workers are particularly prone to taking their work home with them. But hey, that's kidnapping. All right, all right. 2 for
Very
2.
good.
I'm going to call it 2 for 2.
Yeah, I can't add to anything to those. They're good.
That's okay. My TV remote has 4 speeds: fast, too fast, too fast furious, and too fast, too furious.
You should add something about a TV in there. Like one of them should have to do with like house. I don't know. Add something to do with the TV in there. Am I wrong, Emmett? One of them has to be changed. Like I feel like the rule of 3 wasn't fully applied.
Emmett, that's a question I have. Oh, sorry. Go on first, and then I have a question.
No, go. What were you gonna say?
Well, so there are one of the grossest things in comedy is to be a hack. It's the very last thing that you want to be considered as a comic is a hack.
Or a thief.
Or a thief. Yes. Okay. Thief is number 1. Hack is number 2. But
usually, they're often the same thing, right? That's why you're stealing.
Fair. So you could be the 2 worst things in comedy at once, which is a
that is one
prestigious title.
terrible guy.
Yeah. But at the same time, as being a hack is a bad thing, there are things like the rule of 3s in comedy where you hit the punchline on the 3rd thing. Is that like, I don't know where the line is between following effective rules of humor and
Right.
being a hack. And I don't struggle with it, but I don't know how to look at it.
I know what you mean, because these are tried and tested rules that work for reasons. They said just telling a story, telling jokes, once upon a time. They're there for a reason. We tried other stuff. I feel that the formula, like I guess that just comes down to the material, like what you're talking about and how you're talking about it. So you can do a rule of 3 thing, and one guy can do it and you can do it, and it could be completely different things, and that person could do a typical joke where you see coming a mile away, and you could do something completely different that's never been said before, even with the same thing. So I feel it comes down to just who you are and your voice and style. But I understand what you're saying, because I've thought about that too. Because then
Yeah. And I guess like the rule of 3s in comedy, which for anyone who's not aware, is that you list things, and the 3rd thing is the funny thing, and the first 2 are just to set that up. That's almost a little bit black and white. That's like an acceptable thing to use in comedy. But I can't think of any off the top of my head, and that makes this a bit of a bullshit question. But there are for sure gray areas there too, where it's like on the cusp of being hack, but also it's kind of a tried and true method. And that's sort of, and I haven't like taken a deep dive into writing comedy, but that's one of the things that would, I don't know, concern me, I guess. It's not even concerning,
about using classic formulas.
Yeah, like, is it okay? Let's say that TV remote too fast, too furious joke works. That's a list of 4 things.
Yeah.
Is that better than using the rule of 3 because it breaks the mold, and it is, if it was funny despite the fact that it breaks that mold? Like, I guess is it too meta to be thinking about these details? Like, should you just go up and be funny?
You gotta think of the details for sure. But then it comes down to you just gotta try them both. Go up on stage and try one, and try one, and then the next night try the other, and see who decide what. See how you feel. Stay true to yourself. If you feel like you don't want to go along a certain line and make your own, like just do it because you're listening. I find one of the worst things that people can do is have like a bad idea of comedy and then look to that and then let them influence what they're doing, you know, because then it's not going to be there. You know, you grow up liking this comedian and that comedian and that comedian, and then everyone tries to emulate stuff. But at a certain point, like it could just not click with who you are. Even if you like like I love comedians and I love hearing what they say, but I don't like their style of comedy, you know? So
Right.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to like what you feel comfortable you doing, you know. You can go up and tell jokes just to make the audience laugh and maybe get and like pander, but at the end of the day you want to tell jokes that you feel happy about, that you've made yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, like that's with anything. Like I think the first thing you want to do is like make yourself laugh or be proud of the work yourself, because that's kind of what art and creative stuff is about. Like not having a boss. Like I can sit here and write and paint and do all of it myself, and I still made art, you know.
Precisely. And
Right.
I think the function of you have to look at the function of why those rules were applied. And there's psychology behind the rules. So I don't think the rules of three or the rules of comedy are put in place to hinder their creative process of the comedian. I think they're put in place to better connect with the audience. And I think the rules of three specifically, or how to formulate jokes, because making somebody laugh is considered, it's one of the hardest non-tangible things to do. It's one of the non-fit, like it's all invisible. You're just using sound waves, so you're not touching the people. It's one of the hardest things to do is to make people laugh. So I think if you look at the function of the rules and why they're implemented is to make that simply easier. So again, it does come down to if you feel confident with it, if it works with your jokes, like you were saying, if it's just something, you know, you want to get up on stage and try. If it works, it doesn't. But the function, I believe, specifically the rules of three, because that's what we're talking about, is the psychology behind engaging an audience. Because the rule of three has significance in many branches of life, not just comedy. It's a holy number. It's considered succinct, and it also has closure. So when something comes in threes, it feels well-rounded and finished. There's a psychology behind that. It feels good in the mouth. When you say things in three, it has good mouth feel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's used in other play, and with three you can you know, kind of start. You do one, you kind of start it, and then another sees what, and then the other is the twist, or just something to wrap it up, and you've been able to say everything with those, you know, without making a list of 8. Or
it's a perfect number for the equation needed for the structure of comedy. You don't have to use it. But again, yeah, so I think using rules necessarily doesn't make you a hack. I think using rules would just necessarily make you someone who sees the form of comedy much like an engineer would rather than an artist. I think it's just the different brains that are attacking the art form of comedy. Seeing, yeah.
If we think about these rules then as the vehicle for the content of the joke, then we would say it's not hack to use a car like everyone else is using a car, as long as you
know how to use them.
Bring something different to the table when you do. And it sounds to me like there's some severe parallels. I keep using severe parallels in that case between comedy and music, in that you know, they both end up using a lot of those same sort of rules and structures and familiar notions, I guess. But then every so often you'll get someone who comes along and breaks that mold and brings something different. And you'll get whatever, a Jimi Hendrix who just does things differently and blends things that weren't once blended. And you'll get the same thing with a Dave Attell or a Mitch Hedberg, and right after that word, everybody who's, you know, up and coming will emulate them because that's the hot new shit. But to use that vehicle to get those jokes across or the music across, maybe not so hack.
Yeah, it's like calling musical theory hack. It's like calling musical notation hack.
Yeah, I guess I should be into jazz.
You still got to use an A chord at some point, or like a G chord, you know, even if you're in something.
Precisely, yeah.
whatever bad Red Hot Chili Peppers or whatever bad band you want to tie, they're using a G chord, but then the Pixies are too, and they're doing,
Yeah, but you can always add a seventh. You can always add some flair, cause some dissonance, use some pedals, make it your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a question that's really bothered me for a long time. And I'm really glad we hashed it out together, because I feel like that was a pretty good resolution to that. And it's something that can't bother me anymore. So thank you both.
And it took 3 people to come to that conclusion. Look how resolute that is.
It's
meta. That's meta.
The committee is worth it. We've made a decision.
Yeah. A while back, we were talking about how Trump is the perfect elephant in the room and Biden is a senile, old, creepy man, which was great conversation. But I wanted to ask you from there, do you have any, like, what is your most contentious joke? I know you're not political. I know you're not, but what do you think is like a joke where you would get more like, ooh, than
I don't know if I should say it now because it's kind of burning it for.
Oh, right.
Right. Maybe I won't say it, but I did a joke and obviously they're short and stuff, but I did a joke about that.
Just say it.
It was about, like, I'm trying to understand. So I did a joke and I got my first boo the other day. I've gotten silence, and people, not everyone loves my stuff, but I've never gotten or that I've recognized a straight up boo. And it was so funny because it was in Kingston, and I told this joke, and there was like a smattering of, there was some laughter, it was just like laugh, laugh, laugh. Then there was this brief second of silence, and then just boo. And I didn't know if the person was kind of like, it was about, it was relating to, I guess it would be abortion or pro-life, pro-choice stuff, anti-choice, had stuff to do with that. I'm obviously pro-choice, so all my stuff, if I do anything, it's going to reflect that. So I feel that the person who booed me maybe didn't have that same thing, Yeah.
I
was a little confused about it. So, yeah, that probably would be it for sure. And I like the joke a lot. I won't say it because I'll save it for the stage. But
okay, of course.
But yeah, it was. I think someone who was anti-choice maybe or something gave me my first boo, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah,
it feels like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
And I love how he waited. He gave it a beat. It's the beat that really like drives it home. He's like, everyone done? Good. Boo. Well, make sure you can hear me.
not to cast too many stereotypes, but like I feel if you're anti-choice, you're probably like stupid, so it'll like take you a little longer to get something,
There's a delay in the cognitive revelations they're coming to.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe the boo came because he just got it and was also feeling insecure about himself.
The anti-choice was just coincidental. He was booing the previous joke.
Yeah.
Took a little bit.
Yeah, that's still your
the previous joke was probably just something about a sandwich or something.
Like, boo, I like sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, do you put pineapple in your pizza? I don't know.
Speaking of what exactly?
I like pineapple.
Speaking of food and booing.
Pineapple with like hot peppers or jalapenos. That combo I'm really into.
Okay, no booze for you. That's
someone told me that the other day, said to add green olives to it, which sounds pretty great.
Oh, that's amazing. He must be Italian.
No, there's nothing worse in the world than olives.
They're amazing.
You're both stupid.
You are so
black and green and Kalamata. All of them. You're not a fan.
Kalamata is where it's at.
I'm okay with olive oil.
Kalamata are a bust.
No, they're all horrible. They're the worst thing that's maybe ever been produced, possibly ever.
You get out of town.
So every olive you hate?
Everyone.
Yep. Kalamata, black.
I was hoping you were
green,
going to say all of them.
all of them, olive skinned folk. They just fall in by coincidence. It's not their fault, but I can't like them.
We're not friends anymore.
You know, in the
Good.
States,
That's your fault for liking olives.
and in America, I was surprised that they, and maybe this is just Northeast or Albany or wherever I was, but I asked for green olives on a pizza, and they looked at me like I was crazy. Like this was not a thing they do there. Like they're black olives, and but if green olives, it's just not
because green olives are bitter. They have a different taste. They're very bitter.
Okay.
Black olives are really, really sweet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, sliced green olives are super bitter.
I like those better for that reason.
Yeah, me too. So we 86 and expunge all olives from Matt's life. That's wonderful. At your wedding, we're going to throw olives at you and Courtney instead of rice. Just
all right.
Now that I know that.
At your respective weddings, I'll throw dog shit at you.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but.
Okay, wait, no, but like if you had a choice between that and olives, I think we know olives. You need an equivalent. You need to put something that I don't like. I mean, we all don't like dog.
Yeah, the crime has to fit the punishment has
to.
Like it would have to be, you'd have to find out what like Adriana's equivalent of olives is or mine.
What's my olive? Because it's not dog shit. Believe
right,
me,
actually,
you don't know me.
Now that I think about it, you probably, if you like olives, you probably both like dog shit too. So it would be doing you a favor to throw that at you.
Oh, so you're saying you would be doing us a favor with the dog shit, and you don't want to do that at all.
It's, you know what, the risk is too great that you might like it.
I can't throw dog shit at you at your wedding, but I thought you liked it.
Yeah.
So
I thought you'd appreciate it.
I'm just not going.
Yeah. Fuck. Now I gotta. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'll think of something. We'll talk about it on round 3.
Are you actually getting married? Are you actually getting married?
Not at the moment. Not scheduled. No. But when that happens, you'll be invited.
Okay.
You're on the list.
Yeah. I'm bugging you. After 3 years of dating, you either get married, or you break up. So figure something out.
Is that the rule?
Yeah, it's the rule. Well, it's psychological.
That's the rule. Yeah, the rule of 3.
It's the rule of 3.
Yeah. You got to swerve at the end.
And marry someone else.
I gotta know. Yeah, I gotta call my olive dealer. You gotta let me know. Anyway, sorry, I'm beating a dead horse. The joke is done.
No, I feel nauseous now talking about it. They're so gross. One time when I was little, and this isn't related, I already didn't like olives. It wasn't a surprise to me, but I reached for a juice in the fridge, and it turned out to be the olive juice. I don't know how or why that happened. It doesn't make any sense to me now. But I drank a gulp of olive juice, or at least put it in my mouth, and that really didn't help things.
No, it doesn't.
No, this even if you liked olives, like I mean, I'll put that in a martini or something. But like even if you like olives, doing that, maybe that really solidified it for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
They're just bad.
So what about like any other brine types? Like what, pickles, capers?
I want to know. Yeah. How do you feel about pickles?
I'm for them. A good pickle is great.
You like them and are pro pickle.
Yeah.
Pro pickle.
Yeah. I'm pro pickle and anti olive.
Oh right. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And pickled other things. It just depends on the food.
Now,
I'm not anti-pickling. I just don't like everything.
I was going to ask, can we talk about pre-pickling? Because that's what I want to know. How are you feeling about cucumbers? Like physically and emotionally, how do they make you feel?
Physically, they make me feel pretty neutral.
Pretty neutral?
Yep. They don't have a severe impact on my physical being in a moment.
Severe trauma.
I'm not a cat in that way.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I can see a cucumber.
That was the thing they used to do to cats. Like they would. Yeah. I remember that. And the cat thought it was like a snake or something.
Yeah, or just a big dick or something. I don't know.
And I get it.
Sit right there.
I reacted the same way the first time I saw a cucumber. But
that's what they all say.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, But I'm
like 3 times.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to enjoy it.
It's gonna be funny. Yeah, I like cucumbers. Cucumbers are good.
I like those ones where they sometimes like a dog will try a lemon.
Yep.
And because what happens is the dog like eats it, but then they get that sour like pucker face thing. But I don't know if they can connect. That's where they got it.
Yeah.
So it's just that they taste the lemon, and then a second later something crazy happens to them.
Yep.
And then that lemon is evil, I guess, or it's kind of like when a baby sneezes and doesn't know where it came from.
Yep, they just get angry.
Yeah, they're just like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
The dog doesn't have object taste permanence for the lemon, so they're just like confused.
Yeah, it must be so confusing.
Yeah. Are we fighting now, piece of lemon? This feels like a fight. My only attack is with my mouth, and I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. Poor
Dogs
dogs.
are the best and so stupid.
God, I needed that laugh. This has been good. I needed that laugh.
How was your sandwich? Or burrito wrap?
The burrito wrap, I'm still going through it, actually. I'm still picking away because I don't want to eat in front of you guys. Like, that's insanely rude. So I've been just like picking away.
I don't take it as rude at all.
It's like, hey, you want to hear me chew?
I'm chewing. I realize I'm chewing gum. Sorry to anyone, the person listening.
It's all good. It's all good. I was going to ask you a question, but I completely forget what it is. So Matt, if you wanted to take it away for a second.
Yep, you figure out your question. I'm going to try another joke.
Please do.
You got more? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got more. Thanksgiving was weird. My family, my brother saw my browser history on my phone accidentally. And obviously in there it said brother sister porn, and nobody believed me, but I'm not into incest. That's gross. That's weird. I just wanted to see a black dude fuck a nun.
I don't get it, but it was funny to me.
It's brother and sister.
I can't.
Real.
I just heard black guy and a nun, and I lost it. Like, who says that anymore? Where are they going? A bar? Where? Okay, brother and a nun. Got it. That's funny.
Yep. I saw a commercial for Axe body spray last night, and it made me sad to be eating chips, but happy to not be wearing Axe body spray.
I don't get it.
Just
I'm
gross.
so bad. Don't ever workshop with me. I think everything's funny.
It's funny, but it makes no sense to you. So is it funny? Who knows?
I like that one. That was good.
I like steak, but it needs to have some pink in it. I could have it pretty rare, but medium to medium rare is best. Well done is by far the worst. That's a misleading name. It should be not well done.
That one you might have trouble with because pink is reference to gay butt stuff.
Okay.
So you might be talking you like pink in your steak. It might be like saying you like dick. Sorry, yeah. I don't want to get too, but like that. Sorry, I'm getting too.
I know you'll hate it, but can you tell me? Say it again. Do you mind?
Okay, so like, I'm gonna edit all of this out. I'm so sorry.
No.
I watch a lot of like.
No, I'm gonna reference this part of the conversation.
I watched like a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, and like all of the men on that show, they always like they have their humor, their inside humor, and so like pink and like that kind of stuff is like referenced for like your butthole. So like, like. That's what that reminded me of.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say that though. I do like a little bit of butthole in my steak.
Okay. Sorry, I got so vulgar.
No,
perfect then.
Yeah, no, that's the premise of the jokes. I like buttholes in my steak. I like to go for the rump roast.
There it is.
Do you remember your serious question? Did you figure that out? No, okay.
Too distracted.
I'm afraid of extreme heights. It doesn't hold me back too much. The sky's the limit, really. It's always fun to do comedy for an audience of 1.5.
Yeah.
I've been
there. Yeah.
So, and I laugh because you're my friend. I just.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. What a vote of confidence.
Comedy to maybe.
Pardon?
Oh, it wasn't that. I think I did like not 9 people last night. Maybe wasn't that.
Where were you?
Last night was cool. It was a friend of mine does an open mic. Like he wants it to be almost like a variety show. It's at Meow That's Hot, which is like a restaurant based on, they sell hot sauces, which I'm not sure, maybe they have them there in the groceries there, but cool spot. And a friend of mine, Slow Tom, who's really good Ottawa musician, he does like an open mic variety. So they kind of want like, you know, coffee house style, like jugglers, songwriters, you know, poets, all that. So I went last night and there wasn't too many people, so I just went up, told jokes.
Nice. That's dope.
Tuesdays at Meow. Meow That's Hot.
Meow That's Hot. Meow That's Hot. I like it. That's fun. That's so
Yeah, it sounds like a fun night.
Yeah, you'd think it's a cat cafe, but I was going to ask Matt. Your jokes are wonderful, by the way.
Yeah,
we didn't mean
great,
to.
man.
Oh, thanks.
Really funny.
Thank you so much. I actually have, I don't know if you could see it. This is in my notes.
Who here loves olives?
Fucking olives, right? Who here loves olives? Go fuck yourselves. Because they're the worst thing ever.
Can you read a traditional Greek food for us?
I don't, okay, I don't know if any of this is profoundly inappropriate. I haven't read any of these things in a long time. But I'll read it verbatim and we'll see how this goes. So we're talking about olives again, a traditional Greek food. You know, that goes way back since olive trees aren't some new shit. And let's think about ancient Greece. What do we know about it? Lots of butt sex, right? Just a little detour. We're talking pink again. All the time, butt sex. Well, let's not kid ourselves. It wasn't equals butt fucking, not by any stretch of the imagination. It was powerful Greek dudes doing deep anal with their subordinates.
Right?
It turns out the ancient Greeks were literally the worst thing imaginable. I skipped a word there. Fucking olives. They'd harvest the repugnant pitted pieces of shit from local olive trees, and at the first sight of Brutus, they'd shovel them into their stupid Greek mouths. You olive lovers are ancient Greek victims. You were ancient victims. You left your neighbors to be sodomized while you saved yourselves.
Jesus Christ.
It's a long and shameful route to self-preservation.
Jesus fucking.
Generations later, some broken human beings still enjoy the taste of fucking awful, disgusting olives. Which just goes to show you can't trust somebody who likes olives. They're deceitful fucking weasels.
Jesus.
What a
joke.
Yeah, no, you this crusade is it's like you're trying to get everyone to hate olives. Like no one's gonna like olives anymore.
I'm trying to show them the light.
I want to apologize to any people from Greece, any Greeks, any Grecians, any Italians right now who are listening.
For sure have to put a trigger warning in front of that.
You're not supposed to say those last. I don't.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go in and back edit that.
Tell us how you really feel, Matt. Fuck.
I tried to skip over that one.
Did you?
Said,
was this
read
before or
that.
after you did shrooms? Like your hatred is visceral. Like,
they're the worst. They're really bad.
The worst.
Yeah, there's nothing good about olives.
Is there anything you hate more, like any other food, or like, you know, people hate cilantro or something? I don't know.
I don't care for cilantro, but I would eat a plate full of cilantro before I eat a single olive.
Okay.
I think there's.
All right, that's the next podcast, y'all.
Yeah, this is what it's turning to.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to get an olive in front of me, but we could try.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it within the confines of my home.
But I will start with an olive branch.
Hey.
Oh man, I don't like that. I like
hey.
that. Oh.
Oh man, that's too much.
Are you like you don't go out like you have? Do you perform? Like, are you looking to go and do stand up, or do you do stand up? Or
I would like to. I did like an open mic, and then
that's cool.
Before the next one, I got really sick, like actually like threw up hospital sick, and then I kind of didn't get back on that wagon right away. And I did like a couple open mic like rap sets, and I would put jokes in between. I love comedy, and I'm constantly like writing stuff, but
I love that you guys like, you know, there's nothing better than talking to people who know and like comedy. It's the best. So I it's cool how you guys actually like know shit and love it and stuff.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. And I find, and you probably suffer from this too with the style of jokes that you have. Mitch Hedberg had the perfect joke to explain it. He said, I'm a comedian, so I have to think of funny things and then write them down. or if a pen is too far away, I have to convince myself that what I thought of isn't funny.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I do that almost every night.
yeah, you have to. It's a constant debate about whether it's worth it to write this down.
I literally did. I won't try and find my notes, but I know I literally did that last night when going to sleep, and I was like, "Thank God that joke." I don't think I tried to talk myself out of it, but I definitely was more critical on it. It was like,
Yeah.
thank gosh that joke isn't good because I don't feel like getting up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the artist's voice. Actually, Tom Waits in an interview talks about that specific voice. He says when he's driving in a car, he has this great idea for a song. It's beautiful. It's channeling. The angels gave it to him. But he's fucking driving, not now. And so you really have to learn to like literally tell those voices, yeah, come back at another time, please. I'm on the highway. I don't have a pen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like being served a beautiful pink steak right
Very
after
pink.
you've had a very pink steak, so much pink in that steak, right after you've
Extra
had
olives.
with 0 olives because you want this to be appetizing, right after you've had a big meal. You're like, oh, thank you for this beautiful feast of 0 olives and all the pink in the steak, but I have no room in my belly for this right now. I can't appreciate it.
First of all, like, I think you should put, like, we need a warning to anyone before this. If anyone's listening to this episode and eating steak and olives and stuff, like, this is just awful for them. I don't know how many people sit there and eat a steak dinner while listening to podcasts, but
yeah, we need every customer we could keep at the moment. We can't afford to be scaring anybody away right now. So you're right.
Can't
yeah,
isolate.
but I also find funny that it sounded like you were like, I'm gonna eat this steak and then no olives. Like, no one's saying you have to eat olives for dessert or anything.
Adriana said that they would have olives with it, and
I'm Italian. I eat olives with fucking my breakfast cereal. I was eating olives in the womb.
Step 1 for me for any food that comes into my midst is check for olives.
Yeah, we're Italians.
As long as there's no olives. Oh, cool. Lucky Charms? Hang on. Any olives in there? No? Cool. Lucky Charms. That's my process always.
They did. I believe at one, like, years back, they did try Lucky Charms with green olives, and it didn't fly.
I heard about
that. It was like a closed on opening night kind of thing. Yeah.
I was picketing outside of the General Mills cereal factory.
Yeah.
And you have like a goose with the leprechaun, like, holding them up.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
Totally.
It was me and 11 other people, but we were very loud.
The funny thing is, like, and I feel like this is so much like maybe it's a European thing, Italian thing. I think my Italian friend told me where they eat, and I've heard this plenty of times, but like salad, not first. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, never. What? Yeah, no.
Because it's better for digestion, I guess.
Yeah, and you have to clear your plate, or else you're gonna get salad dressing on your pasta. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I've never had salad first. Who does that?
The rest of the world.
So that
what?
Been like, okay, so I have to have salad for dessert.
Yeah, it's like an aperitif. It like absorbs all the food you ate.
Okay.
Like an ice cream. This is not funny. It's facts.
I think I'd rather ice cream.
Yeah. Here's an interesting fact that I understand to be a fact, at least, is that when you eat sugar or something particularly sweet, your stomach actually expands by another like 10% or something like that. So when you're starting to have dinner, your body makes more room, or not dinner, dessert. Your body makes more room for you to have that piece of cake.
Why does it do? Why does it do that?
I would presume it's an evolutionary thing where you suddenly have this incredibly rich source of calories and energy that your body, like if you just ate a bunch of leaves, your body's like, oh shit, here's some real energy. Like, let's make some space. I don't know for sure, but I assume it has to do with calorie density. But in any case, yeah, your body will make room for dessert.
Okay. Unless the dessert are olives, and then we flip tables. So.
Yeah, or maybe if you have like soda pop with your dinner, like that expands it off the jump, because that's super sweet too. And then you don't have any extra space when you come to dessert.
Soda pop is different. It's carbonated. It wouldn't expand. It would fill.
But it's the sugar content, right? The super sweet. If you had a Diet Coke, that might not do it. But
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
true.
What about an olive soda?
Yeah, what about an olive soda?
That would
like
make
stupid Italian soda.
Oh, that would totally clear the contents of your stomach because you'd vomit immediately.
Yeah, stupid Italians.
Yeah.
Sodas
I'm gonna
and
put
stupid olives.
the olive juice you drank from the fridge. I'll put that in a soda stream.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna politely never be closer than a Zoom call away from
I was
you.
gonna say, Emmett, no, this is something we talk about away from Matt. Like I want to be in on this.
Yeah.
I always thought it would be a good prank would be to like put wasabi in an ice cream cone and then say it's pistachio.
Yeah, that's mean.
That's awful. I do it.
Yeah, I have to do it.
That might be good though, mixing the sweet and the spicy. I guess you have to expect it. You got to prepare for it, but yeah, something to try.
Just randomly like, hey, here's some pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, you maybe don't trust them from the jump.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Can you guys sorry, Matt.
No, go ahead.
Can you guys like set up a time to like perform together or something? Why don't you guys just do a duo or what, like a comedy night?
Some who's on first.
What's on second? Yeah.
You should come and do a mic here or something.
Yeah.
And the people here are really like cool, and you won't die, even though it feels like it sometimes.
And Kingston's on the way to Ottawa, so you can we can journey up there. Do some comedy in Ottawa, Matt. Do it. Go.
Okay.
Go do it.
But I need you to promise me there will be zero olive content.
None.
I cannot promise that.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of my comedy career. Shit, that was really promising for a minute.
All the you have a bunch of olive content.
I mean, no real olives. I'm happy to talk about them, from afar. As long as I can't touch one or smell it. It cannot be thrust upon my facial region.
Yeah,
I really just want a martini now.
So do I. That's what I really want some fucking olives. They're so tasty.
You're the best advertiser for olives ever. We all want olives now, man.
Oh, I've done such a disservice to my cause.
You basically supersized me. All I want is McDonald's. Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
I'm gonna supersize me, but with olives.
I mean, kill it, man. Do
that supersize? Did he have to eat McDonald's for like a year or like a month or something?
30 days.
Yeah, it was a month of only McDonald's.
Yeah, and every single meal was McDonald's.
I think I've taught. I don't know if I've probably talked about this with friends before, but I feel like if you ate carrots for 30 days, it would not be good for you.
You turn orange.
Yeah.
You have beta carotene overload.
I like when people do that thing where they'll put up like a picture of a Happy Meal and go like, this Happy Meal is 5 years old and it has not gone bad and it still looks the same and all that. And they're trying to say it's like not good, but I'm like, food that doesn't rot? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm constantly throwing out fruit and vegetables and stuff. Like this thing I could just have around like forever.
Yeah, and
it doesn't go bad. I know you're trying to tell me this is gross, but I can't see it.
And
other than it's McDonald's, which is
yes, and very heavily processed. But I bet if you give that 5-year-old Happy Meal a little bit of stomach acid, it's going to start to break down.
Yeah.
It's going to start to turn into nutrients.
Yeah, just have a salad after.
Yes, exactly. That's it. We've just solved world hunger, I think.
Jesus, that's a stretch.
Great job.
Well, this is a culinary food podcast now.
Apparently, I didn't know, honestly, that Matt, when we first got on, Matt was like, so how do you want to do this? And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to do it. I just want to talk. I'm not sure how we're going to do it because I don't know. I was going to ask you like big metaphysical questions. Like, what's the social function of comedy? I was going to get into, but I melded that into a different question. But basically, what was I going to ask? Oh, right. Okay, this is my big question of the night. It's not that big. Strap yourself in. What do you want written on your epitaph, on your tombstone?
Oh,
It's a good way for you to go.
I don't know. I don't. I feel like I'm kind of just like probably I don't need one of those.
That's a good question.
I want like a. You know what I want? I want to. Everyone always says that they want like a celebration. They don't want people to mourn when they die. They want like a celebration of their life and all that, and that's pretty good. So instead of a funeral, I want a surprise funeral. So like they bring my casket into like the funeral home or whatever, and everyone hides behind the furniture they have in there and turns off. And then when they bring me in, like everyone jumps up and says like, "Surprise, you're dead."
Surprise you. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fun.
That's my request from beyond the grave would be, I think.
Okay, that's a very valid request. There's no final parting words you want to leave everybody. I know what Matt's are. All of you can go fuck yourselves. Apparently, that's his feelings towards us.
Fuck everyone and olives.
Yeah.
Olives, they're the pits.
Oh, I'm angry. I didn't think of that.
You don't hate olives. You just want to do that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how upsetting it is to me that line isn't written down in my phone? That it took this conversation to bring that out of me.
I love it. Like I said, I don't know what's going on anymore. But like, are we getting locked down again? Is that something?
I don't think it's going to be straight like ground zero lockdown again. But we're definitely not going to advance forward in the way that we were hoping. So I think that's the situation. Though I'm not well read up on it.
Yeah, my understanding, and I'm not very well read either, is that it really just depends on the efficacy of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like if it's a new variant that is not protected by the vaccine, then we're going to be fucked until we have a vaccine for it. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. So
paid a lot of attention to everything like at the start, and then I just couldn't keep up.
You get compassion fatigue, and you get like I was raised by conspiracy theorists. So when like SARS was a thing, when swine flu was a thing, like I had a lot of fear growing up. There was a lot of fear mongering in my own household. I was always really scared. And so when COVID came around, I was like, I've been through this before. Nothing's going to fucking happen. Y'all, you guys are stupid sheep, whatever. Then it wasn't going away. Then the propaganda wasn't going away. And it wasn't like SARS anymore. And it wasn't like the swine flu anymore. It was staying around. And I'm like, this is different. This isn't it's I don't want to get too much into it again because it's such a contentious topic. But to subject children to vaccinations without knowing the consequences of the long-term effects of the vaccination, to subject healthy children, the majority of healthy children who can fend off the coronavirus, a simple flu, if it's simply underneath the umbrella of a rhinovirus, healthy children can fight it off. So they're vaccinating children to save old people. Now, in ethical doctor practices, when someone is above the age of 80, you do what you can to help them, but you don't go above and beyond. You go to the next patient. You go to whoever's younger to get the most treatment. So if you're vaccinating children who have a long life ahead of them to save the old, feeble few, is it really about herd immunity, or is it about controlling people through vaccinations? Is it really about herd immunity? Is it really about protection of our citizens? Because the COVID is real. It's not a hoax. It's not going away. It's real. But the importance of vaccination isn't. Now, I'm not saying we're being microchipped. I'm not going to go that far. That's not what I'm saying. That's not the control aspect. But why are we risking the lives of the healthy many to save the sick few? What is going on? Why are vaccination numbers so important? And that leaves me to question what is actually going on. But that's all I'll say. That's where I leave it.
But speaking of the chip, though, like, it is weird that it takes 2 injections just to get 1 chip in you. You know?
Yeah, it's half and half.
Yeah, I definitely
No,
don't believe
I
that.
think there's a lot of weird stuff. I don't know. I don't know too much, but I mean, like I'm fine getting the vax and all that, and going along to get along, but like I do understand the aspect of the government they're not always like true about stuff, you know. Like
No.
I understand the anti-vax when to the point where they're going like, well, these guys are like they don't tell the truth ever, and they're liars all the time. Like, yeah, they've really done that, you know. So I do get that aspect of like
the government, big media,
yeah,
big pharma. Like these aren't people to be trusted, and so even if they're telling the truth, it's very easy to distrust them and to dismiss what they say out of hand because you've already grown so untrustworthy of them.
Precisely.
It's one of those things also where we're just like people. I do agree with the children's thing. That kind of scares me. Like it's weird.
It's a way to apply critical thinking to it. It's just a way to see it from a different. It's like, that's a little funny, you know.
What do you like? You said you like what your parents were conspiracy people?
My father really, and my mom just went along with it.
So like, because remember like conspiracy theories like used to be fun. Like
Nibiru and stuff.
Yeah, like I love the cryptozoology stuff. That was the best. But and then like I still don't understand. Like I'm sure I feel people should joke about this and stuff, but like now it's just like pizza and pedophilia and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just like what happened to Sasquatch and Nessie? You know?
Yeah, what happened to the Denver airport conspiracy? What happened to things looking like swastikas? Right?
Yeah,
like back when it was fun.
I like the Windows logo.
There's an one of my favorite things is like Wikipedia has an entry that's a list of lake monsters all over the world. So like you can click on it and find like there's one 45 minutes from Ottawa apparently.
No way.
In Muskrat Lake, there's one called Mussy.
Mussy?
Yeah, and I kind of want to I don't really believe in like if there was a Sasquatch, there's not one now because they don't obviously like we're witnessing like rhinoceroses going extinct when there's a lot of like not a lot but like there's a number. We haven't seen a Sasquatch. There's no way there's enough to keep it alive.
Precisely.
And we've probably made it extinct by now. Yeah.
Like if Sasquatch can't mate, like doesn't have mates. So like if there were ever one, it's gone now.
Yeah, and we're deforesting the world. Like we've ruined habitats for Sasquatches. Yeah. We had the chance and we've lost it. That's a very good point, Emmett.
Yeah. Apparently the Loch Ness Monster, and again, I don't mean to be vulgar. I did watch something on this. Like apparently the Loch Ness Monster and what people have been searching for and what people have been taking pictures of is just a giant whale penis of some sort or some kind of like, but that's, so if you don't know, if it's like the 1600s, if it's like the 15th century or whichever way you go with that, forward or backwards, but and you don't know what you're looking at, and you're just like, you just see this big phallic thing come out of the water, you're like, of course that's a monster. That's so, but
now that you mention it, the pictures and that it does kind of, I think it might be a whale's penis. It's funny that the people back then they go, oh, that whale, that must be a monster, and then obviously they have genitals, so they're like, a smaller monster.
Yeah, in the bath.
I remember reading something once where it was like, I'm not good at history or anything, but there's Lake Champlain. That's a place, and it was discovered by Champlain, right? Samuel de Champlain.
Okay.
So I read a thing that I think there's a lake monster there, and it was maybe discovered while Champlain was like fighting indigenous people or something. I don't know. But I just had a picture of him going like fighting and going like, look over there, there's a monster.
Look over there.
The distraction or something.
Yeah. I remember.
And it's documented.
I think it's called Champy. Champy is the lake monster in Champ.
I just remember hearing about that douchebag. I think I remember him being a douchebag. I think I just remember anybody in social sciences that had to do with old Canada being a douchebag.
Asked Adriana for a minute, but that's no big deal. Emma, been watching through my life, but recently, particularly, a lot of Norm Macdonald. You a Norm Macdonald
Yeah,
fan?
he's one of my favorites for sure. I was actually watching his show last night, the Netflix one. I just put on an
Nice,
episode
yeah.
sometimes, but I was the one with David Spade. It was
Yeah,
really
he's
good.
remarkably funny and consistently so. It's yeah.
I saw him once in. I've seen him a couple times, but I saw him in Niagara Falls, the American side.
Yep.
And it was amazing because like he ended up throughout the show walking half the room because he got in and like, you know, it's not a word, you know, he starts talking and saying the R word and stuff and goes in that, and then like people start walking out and he just doubled down and I've never seen like so many people just and it was all old people for the most part just getting out and leaving. I feel like because it was at a casino, maybe they were offered like a package where it's like stay, or you're staying here, here's a ticket to the comedian.
Yeah,
not knowing that like thinking it's Don Rickles or the Rat Pack or something.
Yeah.
Just this guy
McDonald.
But
he's
he's brilliant.
There's a compilation on YouTube. It's like 2 hours of him on morning shows. It's just, yeah, everything is. I think the one that's stuck out to me the last few days, and it's going to be perennially funny to me, is I'm a deeply closeted gay man, and then whoever you're talking to will always say you're gay, and you just absolutely vehemently deny that you're gay because you're deeply closeted. It's perfect. It's perfect every time I see it. No, I'm not gay. What's wrong? No. I said I'm deeply closeted. Anyway.
Yeah, he's great.
You occasionally give me a Norm vibe as well. That's what makes me think
he's an Ottawa guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's funny how many like there's some really great original like Tom Green,
Yep.
John Doerr.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day. Sorry, I didn't mean to just enter a conversation and interrupt, but people back in the day.
Oh yeah, no, you're
with just ignorance and because I'm Canadian, they'd be like, "Are you related to Tom Green?" My last name's Green, right? No, I'm not related to Tom Green. Are you related to Dallas Green? No, I'm not related to Dallas Green.
But those two are related.
Related to Seth Green? No, I'm not Jewish. No. But no one knows he's Jewish. He's so.
Seth Green?
Yeah, Seth Green.
It makes, now that you say it, I see it, but I wouldn't have guessed it.
Right? Exactly.
If I had to name Jewish people I could think of, he wouldn't be on the list.
No.
That would be a weird ask for someone. Quick, name all the Jewish people you know.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, what? Why again?
Yeah. Are you writing these down? I don't know where they live.
What is this for? So, Emmett, again, where can we find you online? Do you just have Instagram? It's just Instagram, right?
Yeah. You know, Facebook. I don't use Facebook too much, but Facebook, I guess. But Instagram. I think I have a Twitter account, but I don't use it. But Emmett Morrison.
Okay.
At Emmett Morrison.
Okay.
Instagram is probably the best way. I'll put stuff up there sometimes.
Okay. Where?
Do you promote your dates anywhere?
I'll usually just put them in my Instagram stories or put them up on Facebook or something. I'll probably try and get back into Twitter. I stopped with the socials when the pandemic started because I feel like I'm, you know, a little crazy always. So I felt that a preemptive strike was necessary, you know.
Yeah.
But
Emmett, take a minute and spell your name for your Instagram's sake.
Yeah.
EMMETTMORRISON.
Easy peasy. Emmett, you want to hear my closer?
Please, yes.
Okay. Just imagine you've been laughing hysterically until now, because you know it's important for context. All right. Tornadoes probably get pretty dizzy, huh? That's all. That's my time.
Hey,
I love
that's a knee slapper.
It's consciously bad.
I really no, you're great. I really hope you do some stuff, and if there's anything I can do to help, obviously. Same with you, Adriana. You're hilarious. You know,
Thanks.
anything I could do, but yeah, man, come down and there's everyone in the scene here is really cool. Like, I mean, I know you're not coming here, but if you ever want to come and do something or try it, like, there's some good spots to start and try. And yeah, like, I'm surprised because I hear about, you know, stuff in different cities and comedy and all that, but like, this city has really awesome community and support and people.
Yeah.
Really funny and original people in Ottawa that I don't know if they always get noticed because they're not in Toronto or New York or wherever.
Well, you are excellent evidence of that. From just the little bit that I've interacted with you and the bit of your comedy that I've seen, like you're really excellent, and you're reflective of what you're describing. So maybe you're just seeing yourself and others and you're projecting, or maybe the Ottawa comedy scene is excellent.
It is.
So
It is.
thank you. I would love to come hang out and give it a shot with you and your people. And anytime you're around, like let me know if you're ever in the Toronto area, and we'll make something fun happen for sure.
Can I shout? Can I shout out the people putting on shows here quickly?
Please
do.
Best so shout out to like Dylan Parker, Sophie Hayes, David Haddad, Janelle Niles, Vince Charles. Feel like I'm probably forgetting. Oh, Jeff Davis. Yeah, but all the people doing stuff, and like anyone out there, whatever city, you know, support that stuff if you can.
Of course. Yeah. And I'm going to look through them. I'm going to edit this part out. I'm going to listen through to what you just said, try to find them on social media and try to add the link so when people hear the names, they can also have a call to action for that. So thank you so much for the shout outs. That's amazing. And you're a great supporter of your peers. That's really good to hear.
I love them all.
Yeah, it's that's really amazing. And very quickly, what's your next show? Where can people attend and hear you coming up very soon? Where you play?
I have the August 24th. I have I forget the Arcade. It's in Vanier in Ottawa.
Okay.
Then Yuck Yucks semifinal competition, and then
That's
Montreal
huge.
on September 2nd, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some other stuff here and there, and I think we still got the I'm probably DJing coming up too.
Nice.
So
Yay.
maybe, right? Like if, when, I don't know, but follow Mod Night on Instagram and buy the magazine, or, you know, get the Visio magazines. Those
Exactly.
are cool. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. We're on season 2, I think this is going to be volume 4 or volume 4 issue. Volume 2, issue 4. Oh my goodness. So yes, purchase some of the, you can find us visio.ca, Emmett Morrison online on Instagram and sometimes Twitter. And yeah, if you're into comedy, go check those people out that you mentioned. And yeah, it's been wonderful speaking to you. Congrats on placing in the Yuck Yucks comedy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's really nice to see you guys, obviously, always.
Yeah, Emmett, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love the podcast. I love listening to it. You guys do different stuff and have different guests, and it's always cool.
Thanks. We're still working on our outros. We're working on the outros. We never really know how to leave. We never know how to say goodbye. We never want to, but unfortunately,
Just end it like.
Yeah, bye.